All right, guys, we made it through week 1. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do just a quick warm-up, and then I'll have you guys take the rest of the time and just work on a formative. With the formative, just make sure you guys are treating it like we always do. Don't use your notes. Just do the best you can so that I can see where everyone's at and give you guys some feedback. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to try all of these problems. There's 6 of them, so I want you to try all 6 of them first, and then come back and we will go through them together. So just like a normal day. All right, so for number 1, the sine of 115, we should get 0.91. Again, if we aren't getting this answer, make sure that we're in degree mode on your calculator. The secant of 90 degrees. So remember, most of us don't have a secant button on our calculator. So we have to think, what is our reciprocal ratio? Well, our reciprocal ratio of secant is going to be cosine. So this is the same as 1 over the cosine of 90 degrees. And if you type in the cosine of 90 degrees into your calculator, you get that that is 0. Well, looking here, I can't divide by 0. So I'm going to get an answer that this does not exist. So this can't work. You would get an error in your calculator. This one does not exist because we'll end up dividing by 0. This next one, the tangent of 45 degrees. So this was actually one that we did in our note packet when we were looking at our special right triangles. This one is 1. All right, number 4, you guys have to draw this picture and solve. So you're standing 20 feet away from a tree. So this is you. This is a tree. And so we are standing 20 feet away. And you measure the angle of elevation to be 38 degrees. How tall is the tree if you were 5.5 feet tall? So if I'm measuring the angle of elevation, I'm going to be doing it from my eyesight. So I'm going to be doing it from me up to the top of the tree. So I'm still going to be that 20 feet away from the tree. This is still going to be 20. And I'm going to have this angle of elevation that's 38 degrees. And then it says that I am 5.5 feet tall. So that means as I go across, this bottom part of my tree is going to be 5.5 feet tall. So I'm looking for the height of this whole tree. So if I'm going to draw kind of this in a little bit of a neater way, I'm going to say I have a triangle here that is 38 degrees with a height of t. So that triangle I just drew is going to be this triangle right here. But if I'm looking for the height of the tree, whatever I find for the height of the tree, I have to add that to my height of 5.5 to get the whole height of the tree. Then I also know that I'm 20 feet away. So from my angle, I have my opposite and I have my adjacent. So I'm going to use the tangent function. So I'm going to have the tangent of 38 degrees equals my opposite over my adjacent. So when I do my cross products, I get that 20 times the tangent of 38 equals t. So t is 15.5 15.63 feet. And again, T is just this part of my tree. So now I'm going to have to do my 15.63 plus my height of 5.5 feet to get that the total tree height is 21.13. So this one was a little difficult because you had a couple different pieces going on. We had the triangle from our eyesight, and then we also had this extra little bit of the tree down here that we had to take into consideration. All right, the next one, we're looking to find a positive and a negative coterminal angle, as well as the reference angle for 145 degrees. So first, I want to think, what does this look like on my coordinate plane? All right, so 145 degrees, that's going to be a 0, 90, 180. So that's going to be kind of somewhere over here, maybe a little bit more than halfway. So a positive coterminal angle, I'm going to start on my initial side, and I'm going to go counterclockwise to my terminal side. Well, that's just the angle that I have, so that's going to be 145 degrees. My negative coterminal angle, I'm going to start on my initial side again, and I'm going to go clockwise around. Well, if I look, those two angles make a full circle, so I could just think of doing 360 minus 145 to get that my negative coterminal angle is going to be negative 215 degrees. And the last thing is going to be our reference angle. So I'm going to start on my terminal side, and I'm going to go down, or I'm going to go to the closest x-axis, which is just straight down. So the angle created from my 180 degree to my 145. So I'm thinking I'll do 180 minus 145, which will give me 35. So my reference angle is going to be 35 degrees. All right. Last one is I have the points -2, 5 on the terminal side of an angle theta. Draw the angle and write the 6 trig functions for theta. Leave your answers in exact rationalized form. So what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. All of these of my theta value. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this angle over here. So if I'm at -2, 5, I'm going to be somewhere over here. I'm going to draw that angle. And I could look at that right triangle that's created. I know my horizontal distance was -2. My vertical distance was 5. So now I could do the Pythagorean theorem to find my height. My hypotenuse, I'm sorry. -2 squared plus 5 squared equals my hypotenuse squared. 4 plus 25 equals my hypotenuse squared, or 29 equals my hypotenuse squared. So h equals the square root of 29. Okay, so now I have all of the pieces that I need. So let's go ahead and look at if this is my angle that I'm looking at right here. Opposite is going to be my 5. Adjacent is going to be my -2. And the hypotenuse will be my square root of 29. So I'm looking at my SOHCAHTOA. If I have sine, I'm doing opposite over hypotenuse. But we want to make sure it's rationalized. So I'm going to multiply the square root of 29 over the square root of 29. I get 5 square root 29 over 29. Cosine, I'm going to do adjacent over hypotenuse, so -2 over the square root of 29. Again, I have to rationalize my denominator. So I get -2 square root 29 over 29. Tangent is just my opposite over my adjacent. Cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of my sine function. So instead of 5 over the square root of 29, I'm going to do the square root of 29 over 5. Cosine is the reciprocal function of secant. So instead of -2 over the square root of 29, I'm going to do the square root of 29 over -2. And that leaves tangent being the reciprocal of cotangent. So I'm going to have -2 over 5. All right, so this is everything that we're going to do together today. So just make sure that you guys read that post in Google Classroom. Do that formative for me today so that I can give you guys some feedback over the weekend. Just let me know what questions you guys have and how I can help you.